Hello everyone, and welcome to another royal reading here at MadWorldTarot. And we're carrying on with our Princess Eugenie theme. It's Princess Eugenie Day for some reason today, and this is a Neil Sean story. So anyway, we're going to look at it because it is about Princess Eugenie and it's about her podcast. And of course, she has a very successful podcast. Well, very successful. I don't think it's very successful, but it's successful enough that she's got some quite high profile guests on it. She's had some quite high profile guests on it, and it has been brought back for a second season. It started last year. It is called Floodlight. And it is hosted by her little foundation that she started. It's something about the Anti-Slavery Collective. I think that's what it's called. Something that she's very passionate about is slavery, modern day slavery. And she has worked quite hard. She set up this foundation and she's hosting this podcast. And she's produced quite a few episodes. It's around and about. You can watch it on or listen to it on Spotify and various other platforms. But it's been successful enough that she's had people like Emma Thompson on it in the first season. Second season, it's just been announced. It's being brought back for a second season. And the person who is going to be her first guest is Theresa May. Theresa May, of course, was a British Prime Minister. And she was Prime Minister, introduced some legislation, some anti-slavery legislation. Apparently, I had a quick look to see what's what with all of this. So, not too shabby for Princess Eugenie. Much better than Meghan Markle. And according to Neil Sean, Meghan Markle is trying very hard to persuade Princess Eugenie to invite her onto the podcast and interview her. And one has to think long and hard about what Meghan Markle might have done to combat slavery, modern day slavery in the world, trafficking, anything like that. I think nothing. But anyway, I'm sure Princess Eugenie also thinks nothing. We've seen her prancing around in her playsuit recently. But as far as substantial contributions to human rights and human freedoms and all of that stuff, nothing at all. We know she's very good at gagging people. She's not interested in freedom of speech unless it's her own freedom of speech. She ticks all the wrong boxes. So how's this going to go for poor Princess Eugenie, who really seems to have backed the wrong horse here and is getting herself into a bit of a pickle? As I saw yesterday with the Eight of Swords, came out in my reading, the Portugal reading. We've had a look at her and her husband Jack and how it's affecting their relationship. They're definitely under pressure, taking some strain because of the Parkle support. And anyway, we're going to do a little 5-card reading. Let's show you the tarot deck we're using. It's the Tarot of the Golden Wheel. I'm going to have a look, 5-card reading, and we're going to see what's going on. How Meghan feels about the success of Princess Eugenie's podcast as opposed to the abject failure of hers. She has finally given up trying to trademark the word archetypes. I mean, really. And it looks like we are not ever going to see any more of that podcast. Thank the Lord. But what's going on? How she feels about Eugenie's success. Is she trying desperately to get onto Eugenie's podcast? How does Eugenie feel in her heart of hearts? And what are we going to see? What is going to be the outcome? Underlying energy is a Strength card. That's a Meghan Markle energy, of course, Leo energy. But it is also, Strength card for me is very often about associations, alliances, because I sometimes read it as a codependent card. When I'm reading on Harry and Meghan, doing these royal readings, I see it as a codependent card. Particularly when it's in reverse. I'm not accusing Eugenie of being in a codependent relationship with Harry and Meghan or Meghan, but it is who's in my corner? Who can I count on for support? And of course, the only royal who still seemingly, allegedly, is vaguely supportive, although less and less so, according to the energy that I'm picking up, is poor old Eugenie. So it's Meghan's energy, but it's also, who can I sit on? I can sit on you. Interesting. So let's have a look and see what is going on. What are we dealing with today? We're dealing with, conflict. Ooh, dear, there's fighting over this. This is not a happy, yes, of course. Come and collaborate, come and chat, and delighted to have you on my podcast. This is, oh no, anguish, mental anguish, the Five of Swords. What have I done? How am I going to get out of this now? And also Megan, because Megan is in big, big trouble with endless failure to launch. And so both of them feeling a lot of conflict, mental conflict, troubled about what to do, but they might also actually be fighting. Very interesting. How does Megan view, and I'm going to have a little cough. Interesting that since I started doing this reading, my throat has blocked up, which is, of course, the throat chakra, and somebody doesn't want to speak or doesn't want somebody else on their podcast. So here we are, this card. And this card is about how Megan views Princess Eugenie's success. How does she feel about it? Oh, Two of Cups in reverse. This has caused something of a rift between them. Because Two of Cups upright is a very affectionate energy when you're talking about people, obviously not lovers, not mates, not partners, that kind of thing, just friends. It caused a rift, a rivalry, an unhappiness. She's sour about it, not surprising, given her what we know about her personality and the way she has behaved in the past, up until now. But Two of Cups in reverse, she really can't bring herself to be happy for Princess Eugenie, as she feels that it's disappointing and hurtful, and she wants to put some distance between herself and Eugenie as a result of Eugenie's success. But of course, it would be helpful if she could sit on that success and boost herself, wouldn't it? So is she really trying to get herself invited onto the podcast for an interview? We know what a fine public speaker she is. Or the Hermit. That's playing the Hares card. I think she's trying to get Hares to make it happen. The Hermit, Virgo, has been. And we know that this is what she does. She's not direct about what she wants. She makes men generally go and get it for her. Wanted to do voice work for Disney. Was the one that had to suggest it. Cringe, and on it goes. So I think that she is trying to twist Harry's arm to coax Eugenie into doing this. She's not going directly because there might have actually been some sort of fallout. We have all the indications of a fallout with the Five of Swords and the Two of Cups in reverse. The two women might actually have fallen out at this point. And so the Hermit is the one, and he is a bit of a has-been looking hermit with that beard and his head covered because he's probably hideously bald under that cloak thing that he's wearing. I'm going to get the giggles. How does Eugenie feel about it? But anyway, we know that she's using has-been to access the Holy of Holies, basically. How does Princess Eugenie feel about it in her heart of hearts? Not necessarily what she's saying to Megan or to Harry, but what she feels behind closed doors. King of Wheels. I'm getting a bit of it's mine feeling from that card. It's mine. The way he's clutching that pentacle or wheel in the picture. She's boss. She's boss. She's the one who's done this. She's the one who's worked very hard. The King of Wheels, King of Pentacles, works very hard. He's not flashy. He's not attention seeking. He's not a show off. He's not about the drama. He's about showing up every day, doing something and doing it well, so well that in very short time you are the boss. And you're acclaimed and you are viewed as an expert and an authority on something. something of substance being built up here. This is not a hideous card, it's not a terrible card, but it is sitting under the Five of Swords. She knows that what she's doing is important. She's worked hard to get there. She's now viewed as an authority. She's viewed as someone of substance when it comes to this. Does she want Megan and her word salad to undermine what she has worked so hard to build up? That's what I'm getting from that card. But I think she's too polite to say it directly, because it's not showing up as the Tower or the Death card or any of those truly horrendous cards that could show up. So what is going to happen? We see that Megan wants this. She needs this to shore up her own position, exploit Princess Eugenie. That's how I'm reading this energy. We see there's conflict here. We see that Megan is quite envious, feels that maybe she's not so close to Princess Eugenie anymore, with the Two of Cups in reverse. Using has been to try and persuade his cousin to invite Megan onto her podcast. Eugenie saying, I don't want to undermine my own success and my own achievements by doing this. What's the outcome? What is going to happen? We got the Two of Swords in reverse. That's a no. Ain't gonna happen. I had asked in my notes, I've just checked my notes. I wanted to know whose point of view is the outcome from, and I have written Megan's point of view. Two of Swords in reverse. She's going to get a no. Doesn't matter really. It's also Eugenie's point of view. Two of Swords is decisions, crossroads. Which way shall I turn? Not really knowing. When it's in reverse, you can be really, really conflicted about a decision you have to make. We've already seen that with the Five of Swords, but you can also just make a decision, a difficult decision that isn't necessarily going to win you friends, but is just what you have to do in that difficult moment, that moment of hesitation and dilemma. It's a dilemma, the Two of Swords. What do I do? What do I do? Eugenie is agonizing over this. She's agonizing over it, but it does not look as if Meghan Markle is going to get that microphone in her hands either. She was denied twice at the Kevin Costner fundraiser. She's going to be denied a third time on Floodlight, Princess Eugenie's podcast. Not going to happen. And good from my point of view. And well done, Princess Eugenie. And that's your reading for today. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you again tomorrow.